Oh, can you feel it? It's Feeling You with Vic the Brick Jacobs right there, and me, PJ. And boy, we are bubbling under here today, aren't we, Victor?
I'll tell you, National Football League already into week four. It's
Yes.
it's racing. It's racing by. It seems like the Chargers was just kicking off in Brazil with the
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs. It's already week four, and the Chargers undefeated.
Woo.
They have blitzed their three. Well, not so much a blitz, but they have dominated uh, the first three games. AFC opponents all.
Mm-hmm.
They're 3-0 for the first time in 20 years.
Amazing.
They got past your Broncos. It was a gritty win last week.
Yep.
But as I was talking with Matt Money Smith, the electric, beautiful play-by-play radio man for the Chargers in Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
I said, Money Mon, this could be a trap game in New York. And why? Well, let's face it. The Chargers have traveled to Brazil, then they went to Vegas. They got one home game, and now they're going East Coast again in 4 weeks. So that's 3 out of 4 weeks they're traveling.
Yep.
They got to be a little flat today. Jackson Dart is in for Russell Wilson, and that had New York City buzzing the entire week. Brian Daboll's job is on the line. If Dart doesn't look good, he was their first round pick out of Ole Miss. Rather, played a year at USC. But Dart in for Wilson, and early in the game, even as we're streaming, Dart's looking good. PJ.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he is. He's off to a good start. I think you said it well. I think Brian Daboll, if he was in the emergency room of a hospital, they'd say he was in critical condition. Because
Oh man,
seriously, I
tough.
think he's one major loss away from being cut and fired because I don't think the New York fans will put up with it. I think they're done. I know he broomed out Russell and brought in Dart in an effort to more or less save his own job and look like he's doing something, and he is. But at the end of the day, if you continue to lose, his record has just been terrible. So, I do think he's day to day. I think if he can't beat the Chargers today, if he plays them close, I know he's leading right now, but if he at least plays them close, he will survive another game or two. If he somehow loses big to them, I think he could be fired. But like you say, right now he's ahead, so maybe he's got the team fired up. Maybe Dart is bringing some new energy, and definitely the Chargers lagging after being in Brazil and then flying east and all of that. So they're going to have that effect on him. So it's going to be a fun game to follow.
Well, the Harbaugh effect also has to make impact. Harbaugh at halftime, we'll take the Chargers in and say, boys, listen, let's just play some Charger football,
Right.
and Herbert will find his rhythm
He will.
in the second half. But as of now, New York City is breathing a sigh of relief that they're
Yeah,
suddenly at least their team is alive.
they're
It's not
alive.
totally dead, the Giants, because their schedule is crazy brutal. The
Yeah.
first half of the season, they can easily go like 1-8
Oof.
with the schedule
Yeah.
that they're facing. They play the Saints, so there's a possibility of a victory there. But today, Chargers, it's a gigantic game
Yep.
for the New York Football Giants, and Chargers 3-0. They're leading the AFC West, but let's face it, week to week, the NFL, man,
Oh,
it eats its young. It's such a ridiculously hard league, so hard to win football games.
it's
I
just
mean,
a wreck.
look at the Rams last week, PJ.
Oh, what a heartbreak for them. What a
You know,
heartbreak.
they got the Eagles. They were
Yeah.
up 19 in
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah.
A game they had to win because they
Yeah.
have to get over that hump to show we can beat the Eagles. Remember, they had the world champions down, not down, but they were on their 20-yard line
Yep.
in the playoffs last year in the snow in Philly, and couldn't put it away.
Couldn't put them away.
But this game was so frustrating. When you're lining up for a game-winning field goal, PJ,
I know.
you got to make it,
You
not
got to
get
make it.
blocked, not
Yeah.
get blocked. The ball goes, back,
That
back
was
for a
terrible.
touchdown.
Yeah. That was terrible.
Imagine if you had, if you were betting this game
Yeah.
and
Oh,
you had the Rams, plus 3.5.
It'd be fun to know how much money in Vegas shifted on that blocked field goal from the Rams
Millions
winning.
upon millions
Had to
upon
be.
millions.
Had to be to beat the Philly. And then on that blocked field goal, they take it the other way for a touchdown. They win. And like you say, millions, 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 and millions of dollars shifted. It just,
Heartbroken, heartbroken, man. Just a
yeah, I know.
horrific play,
Yeah,
from the special teams.
yeah.
That's Sean McVay. That's not the way he coaches. He
No,
coaches. He's a brilliant coach.
yeah.
Every team is talented, but in this case, two breakdowns on
Oh,
special teams, unacceptable. And now that they have the undefeated Colts.
yeah, another tough.
Indiana, are they for real?
I don't know.
We'll
We'll
find
see.
out. Daniel
Yeah,
Jones, who I've been down on for years with the Giants, but again, it's the Giant system.
yeah.
The Giant system is horrific. He couldn't get a decent offense. His
No.
offensive line was in tatters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It was like Cincinnati and Burrow, same thing there. It's just like all those injuries to Burrow, most of them related to just a horrible offensive line over the last 4 years, 5 years now. But yeah, so that's going to be a fun game to watch. I can't wait to see the Cowboys and the Packers because I think the return of Micah Parson for revenge. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. Both teams are doing pretty well. Of course, Lamb is out, so that's going to play heavily into the passing game, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Cowboys counter with that. Probably a lot of underneath stuff, and probably a lot of stuff to Jake Ferguson, their tight end, who's been playing great. So they're going to have to counter there. But Packers looking great, playing tough D, and definitely have the offense to put it to them. So
I am
big
still
game.
stunned, PJ. I'm still stunned they lost to Cleveland last week.
Yeah.
I am stunned that the Packers lost to Cleveland. I mean, that to me, the Cleveland defense is strong. I mean,
That's it. That's it.
that's a tough D. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Cleveland's strength is
Yeah.
their defense, and
Yeah.
they played. And Love had a horrific game. Really,
Oh, it was bad.
Jordan Love had a bad game,
Yeah.
but I think they're going to get right,
I think so
and
too.
because the Dallas defense is a sieve.
Oh,
They are a sieve. I mean,
yeah.
Russell Wilson threw for 450 yards
Yes.
against the Dallas defense. And that's how ridiculously, sublimely
Yeah.
weak the Dallas D is. So bounce back big time, I
I think
believe,
so.
for Green Bay.
Yeah.
Raiders, fascinating team always, with Pete Carroll. Now they play the Bears.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Caleb Williams is the real deal.
He's the real
Look,
deal.
he's the real deal. He is, making the Bears offensively a threat. They're a threat. Caleb, every time he plays, is definitively electric. He's gonna have some nice numbers, but the Raiders. This is crazy. This is not a must win, but they have to get back on track. The
Yeah.
Raiders have to get back on track with a victory. To keep themselves in the AFC West. But the AFC West, again, could be eating its young all year long.
All year long.
The
All
Chiefs,
year long.
the Chiefs are going to bounce back. I believe this week. They have their wideouts coming back.
Yep.
From injury.
Yeah. Worthy will be back, I think. They've got,
Xavier will be back.
yeah, he'll be back. And that's key to their moving their offense. It's funny how things transition, but all of a sudden he's key to making their pass game work. It's just funny how fast things change in the NFL from one season to the next. But yeah, for the Raiders, I hate to say it's a must win, but you almost have to say it's a must win, right? And Gino has to have a huge game and catch the Bears hibernating a bit, which they may be this week. Who knows? But yeah, I think Jonte has not lived up to what he can do so far, and he's played good teams, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And the Raiders,
You mentioned Junty. It's so interesting, PJ, is that
yeah,
he is gaining yards every time someone bounces off him. In other words, he'll get hit in the backfield
yeah,
and he'll still gain all his yardage after he gets hit. He's always getting hit. He has no holes.
he
The
has no
O the
hopes.
O line is horrific for the Raiders. They've got to open lines for Junty, and they got to get him the ball in open spaces.
Well, I
And,
think I think
and
Pete
they're
Carroll's
not doing
working
that
on
for
it. Yeah,
Junty.
I think you're right. Pete Carroll's working on that. I mean, he's a runner. He understands the run
He's
game,
your
and I
number
think
one draft pick. You got to give him the
you
ball,
got to give him the ball, but you got to
create
open holes.
opportunities.
You got to open holes for him,
Oh
you know,
man.
or you got to swing the ball out and at least pass it to him so that he can have somewhere to run. Because great runners, I mean, look at Breeze and these people. They're number one picks, amazing, amazing players. But if you don't have people opening holes for you, right? I mean, look
Or
what happened.
protection, or protection.
Yeah, look what happened to Saquon when he got with a team that opened holes for him.
Became the
He
best player in the league.
Yeah, instantly, instantly. He was with the Giants doing terrible. He gets to Philly and he's MVP. I mean, it's all about having those big guys up front to open lanes for you that you can run through. Then you can show off your running talents. But I don't know how quickly the Raiders can fix that. That's not an overnight fix.
No,
It's just not.
the Eagles was a process to become
Yes.
the monster offensive line that they are, the
Yeah.
world champions that they are, to win games as they do. I mean, they've won 3 games, PJ. They could have lost each one of the 3 games,
Yeah. Yeah.
but somehow the Eagles find a way
Yep.
to win, and that's the stuff of this championship DNA, man.
That's
That's
right.
how, it's all about winning. It doesn't matter how you win, how ugly you win. It doesn't
Doesn't matter.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
You
Yeah.
have to notch those wins. In the National Football League, it is so, as we said, so tough,
Oh.
to win a game. So, you look at the Eagles 3-0, and you say, how have they won? They win ugly. Yeah, they win ugly, but that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wins are beautiful.
They win. They win.
That's
I don't care if they do the tush push. I don't care what they do. They've come up with ways to win. I don't care if they block a field goal and win. They're winners. That's the name of this game. At the end of the season, it's how many wins do you have? How many wins do I have? So, you know, I'm all for what they're doing. Can we switch to some people that aren't winners? Because I would love to talk about USC being beat once again by Illinois, and Illinois had just gotten wiped out
destroyed by Indiana.
the week
Dis,
before,
dis,
63 to 10 or whatever it was. But for them to lose to Illinois goes back to my opinion, to the very beginning of this thing. They have no defense. I saw one pass. It was a 70-yard pass. There was no USC player within 25 yards. It was the most embarrassing play I've ever seen. Really, one of the most embarrassing plays I've ever seen. And just on that play, you can say what you want about their head coach, Lynn. I'm not head coach, but their defensive coach. I don't know. It's embarrassing. He hasn't put it together. Riley hasn't put it together. These guys, at a bare minimum, Vic, in my opinion, if they want to keep these two guys, if they want to keep Riley, they want to keep Lynn as the defensive coordinator, they need to get somebody like Nick Saban to be the consultant, somebody that puts fire in people, somebody that can breathe life into a team that I see has no fire. They have some good players, but they've never been able to put it together defensively. On the offensive side, they always do okay, but that's where Riley puts all his efforts. But in the end of the game, this guy's a coach. He has to coach the whole team. It's not happening, and it's not good. And to lose to Illinois, they were ranked 21st. Illinois, I think, was ninth or something. But in
they
two
were, they
weeks,
were 23rd. They were 23rd. USC was 21st. But again,
okay, okay. But
PJ,
whatever the ranking is,
doesn't
they
matter.
they should have beat Illinois, and
No doubt.
that was a prep for Michigan in 2 weeks. They have a bye, and then they play Michigan. Do you know what Michigan's going to do to these guys if they don't get better? They're gonna destroy them. I mean, their schedule only gets tougher. The whole scenario was about USC's building week by week, getting stronger week by week. You can see it. You can see the numbers. Well, they just played a pretty average Big Ten team, and they got beat. So they took a big step back. And you've got at this point the athletic director Jennifer Cohn needs to look at the situation, and she needs to put these coaches on the line, and she needs to look for help. She needs consultant help. I would go to Nick Saban and open the checkbook and buy him away from Alabama. He's consulting them. And you need a guy with fire like that. I'd say Urban Meyer, but Urban Meyer has too many other problems. Get Nick Saban on.
I love that call, PJ, and I'm
Yeah.
just going to piggyback on your passion
Yeah.
for Troy. This was looking like USC from the last few years when they were mediocre,
Yeah.
penalties, no defensive presence whatsoever, can't make a stop.
No.
It was so frustrating. They
Yes.
did come back. They took the lead. You had to give them credit. The offense began clicking late, but you got to get stops. You've got to have a defense that has some heart and soul. And I know that's in Champaign, and I know it's on the road. And listen, the
That
19
doesn't
year
matter.
the 19-year-old kids, but you've got to turn the program around. USC, that was a horrific loss. You were ranked 21 and rising. Now you're going to be out of
Out.
the
You're out
top
of the.
25. You
Yeah.
see the brick, USC. You
Give it
see
to
it.
him.
That's the brick. Gong me, you.
There it is. I love it. And well deserved. And let me say one more thing
Very
before we move.
frustrating for all Troy fans.
Troy fans are going crazy. Clock management, which is a key coaching thing.
Yes.
When you have 2 minutes left and you're leading and you decide to throw a touchdown pass instead of run out the clock, when you've got 3 timeouts, you can completely control the game. That was a terrible coaching decision by Lincoln Riley and his staff to start throwing the ball and go completely adverse to what you do in those situations when you're leading, when you know you have the knowledge you have no defense and this team can run through you, you want to keep the ball. And the way to do it, keep it on the ground. You got timeouts, you got everything on your side. Only 2 minutes left in the game. He threw a quick touchdown pass. They scored, but they came right back and beat him. I mean, it was terrible clock management, and that has to be looked at too. Because if you're a coach and you don't know how to manage your clock, you're not going to win many games in this league. So, you know,
And the Big Ten is just lining up
oh,
so tough for SC
oh,
because yes, they can beat a Purdue, yes, they can beat a Michigan State,
yeah,
but you lose to Illinois. How's it going to look against Michigan?
yeah.
What happens when you line up against the elite, the Ohio States, the Penn States,
We know.
the Oregons, who upset Penn State,
Yeah,
you know, in Pennsylvania, which was
yeah.
an incredible win for Oregon. But that's besides the point. Talk about the bad clock management, and talk about sad fans at this point.
Oh,
UCLA 0-4 and going
oh,
nowhere. Looking at 0-12,
yeah.
they go into Northwestern, a very 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 mediocre Big Ten football team. Lose by 3. It could have been much worse, but they even had a shot late. But
Yeah.
their clock management was some hell.
Yep.
So again, even firing Deshaun Foster, they interim coach Tim Skipper, good football man, nice guy.
Not the guy though. Not the guy.
Not the guy eventually UCLA needs, to
Yeah.
stay competitive.
Right. Right.
So again, if you're a UCLA fan, you're looking possibly at 0-12. Yikes.
Wow.
I mean, that's
Wow.
so listen, if I'm going to brick USC, I got to brick UCLA,
I think they
man.
deserve it.
What a horrific year this has been,
Oh,
and going nowhere.
yeah.
I wish Coach Skipper the best of luck. With this ragtag unit. You see the
Yeah.
brick UCLA. You see it. Oh
Give
yeah,
it to him.
that's the brick. Gong me, you.
Beautiful. I love the double bricking. It's
Double brick.
fantastic. Not done enough. But you know what? We do have to stop with the bricks and talk about JJ Redick, I think, because JJ Redick should be renewed. He should get a big contract. I think he's a good, solid coach. I like the way he coaches. I like the way he handles the team and the personalities. What say you?
Well, again, if I'm the Lakers, I'm not going to reward him for an extension. He already had a 5-year deal, a 4-year
Yeah.
deal. He got the team to the playoffs in a nice regular season, but got blown out by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yep.
What does that prove to me? Okay, stay the course, but I'm not going to reward him for getting blown out in 5 games by Minnesota.
Hmm.
That to me is not a step forward. But this is about potential. This is about re-signing Luka. This is about another year from the incomparable LeBron James. This is about Reeves. This is about Aiton. This is about Marcus Smart, Jake, the new forward.
Yes.
This is about potential.
Yeah.
So they said this is our man for the future. So that they added on a year to his contract. Okay, that's fine. Now get to the next level, Lakers. This is the window obviously closing on LeBron's amazing career. He can still put up the numbers. You know, he's going to put up like 25, 8 and 8 once again, which are
Yep.
insane numbers. If he's 40 years old, 23rd year in the NBA. But to reward JJ with a year, again, great for JJ. Good work by his agent. But
Hmm.
to me, if I'm the Lakers, I say, okay, JJ, take us to the next level. Then we can, rip up the old contract and give you something fresh.
Well,
But
I like, yeah, I like the way you're thinking there, but I think that, in my opinion, I think it was a move, maybe a desperate last move, to try to reinforce and say, hey, we got confidence in you. Only a year. We're going to give you 1 year extension. This is your year. We have confidence that you can bring it home. And we're going to show you we have confidence by giving you another year onto your contract. And maybe that's just, it's all mental, as you know. And this might have been just a mental way to get them pushed ahead, and
a little
hopefully,
spark, a little
no
spark.
spark. They need it, and hopefully it works. Aiton in the middle now. We got our great guards. We got our power forwards. Uh, we're basically a great shooting team now. So with everybody that's on board. So let's see what happens, and let's see if this works and if that extra year contract means anything in reality. Who knows? We'll find out.
We will. And PJ, I am super psyched and pumped for the baseball
Oh,
playoffs.
come on.
We,
We saved the best for near last anyway.
we've reached the last day of the regular season, 162.
Yes.
There are still, opponents to be named for the Dodgers. These are the Mets or the Reds. The Reds, of course, have the inside track as they have the tiebreaker in that wild card, which would be insane because the Mets have the highest payroll
Yeah.
in baseball. What, close to $400 million, and
Yeah.
you miss the playoffs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh,
That's embarrassing.
yeah.
Even if the Mets make it in, which would take a fortuitous set of circumstances, they'd have
Yeah.
to win. The Reds would have to lose. Then they'd be in, but that's yet to happen. We'll see
Yeah.
how it plays out. But it's really been a horrific year for the New York Mets. I grew up in the Mets in New York.
Yep.
I went to many games in Queens at the Big Shea, and so I grew up on the Mets and the Amazons of 1969, and
Wow.
it's been a bittersweet time if you're a Mets fan. But they've been competing the last 2 years, but this year, with a sensational lineup, they signed Soto,
Yes.
to an Otani like 700 $50 million contract. He's been okay. He's put up decent numbers. But Lindor has had a nice year leading off. But the pitching staff's from hell.
Yep.
Uh, Even if they get to the playoffs, I believe the Dodgers, who are in prime position, doesn't matter who they play, Reds, Mets, onto the Phillies. But it's always dangerous, a best of three. But PJ, the way the Dodgers have been playing lately, up in Seattle to close out the season, the bullpen seemed to dig deep and find themselves. Blake Trinan pitched a couple nice innings.
Yeah.
Even Scott,
He
found
had a he
something.
had a nice inning. He had a nice
He had
inning.
a nice, so a couple of these guys been question marks the last couple of weeks,
Yeah.
rising up. But the big story for me, Roki Sasaki,
He's back. Number
the
11.
23-year-old Japanese sensation, out for most of the season, with injury, went down to the minors, got roughed up there, but then he came back, and we see him against Seattle, striking out Cal Raleigh,
Wow.
Mr. Home Run six, Mr. 60, just having Raleigh at his knees with his stuff, and just tremendous.
Wow.
So that's a weapon the Dodgers never thought they would have a month ago, and suddenly Roki Sasaki, PJ, is in their bullpen looking good.
Very strong.
And if Trinan can recapture that spark, and his stuff looked great in Seattle,
Yep.
I must say.
Yeah.
And this is a team, PJ, where everything's clicking except for one thing. They lack America's catcher, Will Smith. He may not play early in these playoffs, PJ, but they are, plugging the gap with Rortfeld,
Yes.
and Rortfeld is playing well. Dalton Rushing's playing well.
Yes.
So they're not Will Smiths, but they're good catches.
But look at rushing. He's had a couple of huge hits the last
Huge hits, yeah.
last two games, home runs, and so he's really coming on with the bat, and defensively arm's not bad at all. And yeah, they're no Smith, as you say, but kind of together as a combo, they almost make one Smith. But you know what I mean? Together they do. But hopefully you can get the real deal back after the 3 game series. Maybe he can join after the 3 game series. I think the biggest problem for the Dodgers, seriously, is they don't know who to prepare for because it's so weird the way the season's playing out.
Well, it's Reds and Mets early, and then the Phillies.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's pretty simple.
yeah.
The Reds are a talented team playing with. If they get to the playoffs, house money. No one's expecting Cincinnati to do anything, but it'll be a 3 game series starting Tuesday, Dodger Stadium. Three
Yep.
best of three. The biggest question is who's on the Dodger roster, who's on the playoff roster, who is going to make it in terms of everyday players. I think Conforto has played well enough to make a playoff roster. I know he's just hitting 200, but he's hit like 275 the last month. He's been pretty much solid. Left-handed hitter, he's making some contact. So Conforto, who may have been in the bubble, I think Conforto is going to make the playoff roster. But pitching wise, the bullpen's going to be wild because Glass now is going to go to the bullpen. He pitched a couple innings in Seattle. He's ready. The question is, where do you pitch Ohtani?
Yep.
Do you start Ohtani game one, or do you start Snell, or do you start the Big Yama?
Yeah.
Who, Now, if you start Big Yama into Snell, let's say the Reds win the first two, and that's it. You won't even get to pitch Ohtani sign. So I know that's a far-fetched thought that the Reds would take the series and you don't see Ohtani, but it's looming. It's out there. Everything's a possibility. Baseball's a crazy game, man. But I would pitch
Crazy.
Ohtani as soon as I could. I might even start game one with Ohtani.
Well, if you're asking me, I would
I
start
am.
Otani first. I would start him, and then I would do the Big Yami second. I would go that combination to try to
Ohtani, Big Yama.
yeah, try to close him out and just save yourself from being a situation where you got to get into a 3 game series. Just close them out. And then you got all the great talent behind to bring in from the bullpen, the guys that are really hitting it now. And I like that Diaz boy. That guy. You see him last night throwing 102-mile-an-hour fastballs. Incredible. So the bullpen is picking up. It's looking really sharp. Sasaki in there's huge. I think that guy's got great movement on his ball again.
Incredible stuff, PJ.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible. So all that, you even have the big Kirsch if you need him for some rounds, mid inning rounds. You got
In,
him,
in relief, and again, we want to give love to Kirsch, his
of
final regular
course.
season turn in
Yes,
Seattle.
yes,
Uh, it's a very emotional moment for
yes.
all Dodgers fans, all baseball, to see the great Kirsch,
Oh, yeah.
starting his final
Yep.
regular season game. But you're going to see him in the playoffs. He's going to come
Yes,
out of the pen. He came out of the pen over the weekend. Looked great.
he looked great.
He
He
looked
looked great.
great. He's ready. I mean, it's an adrenaline rush. He says for himself. The one injury problem might be, Max Muncy.
Yeah.
He's been hit, but it seems he's getting hit every game by a pitch. And I just say, Muncy, just get through the game healthy. That's all. That's
That's
all
what
we
everybody's
want.
worried about.
But my
Just, I
beloved
know.
Gardyuko Sakamoto watching the game. We see Max hit by another pitcher. Oh man, just keep him safe for the playoffs.
That's it.
But
That's it.
Muncy's a question mark. We don't know. He may be ready. He may be
I
ready
hope
for the
so.
Reds or the
Yeah.
Mets. We'll see.
We'll see, but
Uh,
I
but
love
but Kike's ready. Kike,
PJ's
Mr. October is
Mr.
ready.
October. He takes over for Reggie Jackson years ago. He's the new Mr. October. Last night, another big hit. I mean, I just think this guy comes to life. I think that headband that he wears kind of tightens up
Ah,
during October and late September. He looks amazing. I think he's going to do great. I love Vasia. I love his
oh, Alex Vesia.
energy.
Alex Vesia. He,
I
he
think
he
he's
downs those Red Bulls and forget about it.
Yeah, oh, come on. He's just on fire. I think that he could be considered the closer, the actual closer for the Dodgers in the short series, I think, because he goes to work on those guys. And I love the way he pitches. I love his energy. I think he brings a lot of energy to the team. And so, yeah, I mean, we're talking, look at us. We're talking about the bullpen all positive right now. And that
That's
in
why you feel
itself
good about the
that's
Dodgers.
when you know that the Dodgers are on track because how many months have we been talking about how poorly the
Oh,
bullpen is and how
all
terrible it
most of
is.
the
And
season, most of the
yeah,
season, we've been
yeah.
down on the ball because they have been one of the worst bullpens in baseball. They
Disappointing. No matter what position you put them in, disappointing. Scott signs a $72 million 4-year deal. Couldn't get my grandmother out.
He's
I
blown
mean,
10 saves. He leads the league in blown saves.
right, right. So
I mean, it's just 10 of them, 10
yeah,
games.
that's unheard of. I mean, honestly, Vic, I just on that, and I know he had a good inning, but I think we're full enough in the bullpen. I don't think he should make the roster. I think you need to send a message, and to everyone else too, and to Scott. He doesn't need to make the roster, and it would be a mistake to put him in a critical position because I still don't feel confident in him. I don't think uh, Dave Roberts feels confident in him at all. So I know he's trying to give him a way back, but if between the two, I'd rather give Tryon a way back than giving
Because
Scott.
we've seen Trinan get the clutch outs
Yeah,
last year when he was
yeah.
just unhittable with that
Oh,
crazy stuff that he
yeah,
has.
yeah,
This year, his control has been out of control. Let's face it, he's been out of control.
yep,
Had some nice innings, to wrap up the season. Is that enough to instill confidence in Dave Roberts, the sensei, to
yeah.
bring in Trinan in the eighth,
We'll see.
or Vesey of the ninth?
Yeah,
Or again, do you trust these guys enough, to leave out Otani-san or out of the
no.
bullpen? I like Otani-san coming out of the bullpen. He's been starting all year, but again, game one,
Game one,
be it the Reds, be it the Mets at
the
Dodger
Big O,
Stadium.
the Big O.
Let's go with Otani-san to start the festivities, land the first blow. You
Yeah.
want to win game one and move on and get to Philadelphia. And I believe in a best of five with Philly,
Yeah,
which is kind of a short series.
that is short.
I like the Dodgers, to upset Philadelphia, even though people are saying Philly is the juggernaut, and Philly is a juggernaut. But if the Dodgers bullpen can stay solid, they got the best starters in baseball. There's no doubt they're the best starting pitching in baseball. Snell has been an animal, and I say that with love.
Yes.
Big Yama has been sensational,
Yep.
and Otani-san has been unhittable.
Yep.
And Glass now is your fourth pitcher, just in case you need a start. There's Glass now who will probably move to the bullpen, and you got Kershaw also in the bullpen. Maybe a spot start. Who knows? But
Yeah.
they have the best starting pitching in baseball. If they hit, Mookie found himself. Otani's hit 54 home runs. Freddie Freeman's hit 295. Had a very solid year. Freddie. Uh, the key again will be Teoscar Hernandez. How Teo go? Teoscar must have a big playoff.
Must have a big playoff. Yep.
Ride the way of Tay. Ride Teoscar. He's got, and also, and Andy Pages, man, under
Well,
the
you
radar.
gotta, yeah,
27 homers, second year in the league. Pages must hit as well. They all have to hit.
they all have to hit.
And
But Pages on defense, you have to have him in center field.
great arm, one
You
and arm.
have to have him. Great arm, able to run down those balls. I mean, he makes some great catches. I think he's key to being in center field. And like you say, he's coming on and he's hitting. He's done pretty well. So I would definitely put him there. I would definitely put him there.
Tommy Edman must have a big playoff series. Remember, he was NLCS MVP last year.
Yep.
Still fighting the ankle. He had a
Yeah.
a nagging ankle injury the whole year.
Whole
But
year.
if he's healthy, Tommy Edman will be vital.
Yep.
And of course, give it up for Miggy Rowe. Miggy Rojas has
Oh,
been so solid.
yeah.
One of the leaders of this ball club, makes fantastic plays. Defensively, gets you big hits. He's hitting 265, which in today's baseball is like hitting 320.
It is. It is.
No one hits 300 anymore. He's hitting like 260 and very productive hits.
Yeah.
Make you up and down that Dodger lineup if they can stay consistent and they get the start. And the starters are not going to lose it, and the bullpen can rise up. They're a very difficult out. Are your Los
Well,
Angeles Dodgers?
I think that's a great way to wrap it up. Well said. And I think we have to talk a little bit about the Ryder Cup because I don't know about you, but I was red-faced by watching what they did and how they did it and how they were just bowled over. The whole American team just just bowled over.
on their
Embarrassing.
home course. Bethpage
Embarrassing.
Black in Long Island, New York.
Embarrassing.
They
Just
all
embarrassing.
turned into Tiger Woods. You know, Tiger couldn't play Ryder Cup. He was
Yeah.
13 and 21 in his
Yeah.
matches. Tiger couldn't win. And,
No.
you know, Scheffler, you know, becomes Tiger Woods, basically, gets destroyed
Yep.
in every match, as did every American. And basically, you know, the caddies or, you know, doing not so kosher stuff on the green, you know,
Yeah.
with the Euros, you
Yeah.
know, to the Ryder Cup team. Get some heart.
Yeah.
Ryder Cup, American Ryder Cup golfers. What are you thinking? You see the Brit.
Oh,
You
good.
see it.
I love it.
Hey, Ryder Cup guys. What
They
you
deserve
doing?
it.
It gong me, Ukes. Ah.
Wow. Yeah. No, well deserved. I love it. Vic, your bricks today have been amazing. I love all of your bricks today. And guess what? We've got to wrap up. We've got to talk a little sumo before we go
Final
because
day.
the diapered ones are what?
Oh,
What do they have? 7 weeks left or 6 weeks? What do they have
this is the
left?
last day from
This is it?
Tokyo. Day 15,
Woo.
PJ. Ono Sato, I'll show you the two Yokozunas. And it's down to the big men. It's down to the great Yokozunas. And
Okay.
Ono Sato against, I'll show you. This is it. Today is
Wow.
the last day of competition, and my sumo expert Yuko Sakamoto
Yes.
has given me incredible vibes on this match today. Got to watch it. NHK again will be your portal for all things sumo.
Gonna be
They play
exciting.
it 3 times a day: 9:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the afternoon, and 9:30 at night. Get your highlights there, but it's boils down to the Yokozuna, PJ. Ono Sato, and I'll show you a gong Miyukes.
Hey, we got to do a brick and a gong and a goodbye, and we want to thank everybody. We want you to share this with your friends. We appreciate it wherever you're watching it, and let your friends know. And let's get more people watching and listening. We love it. Our thanks to, of course, the incredible Chris Donovan, our producer,
On the
and
ones and twos, man. Thank you,
oh
Chris.
man, every week so amazing. And Big Dave that handles the graphics,
Dave Cardona, our graphics master.
doing a great job.
Yuko
You
Sakamoto on the gong and all things getting me ready for this wacky show.
That's right. That's right. So we'll be back. We're going to be talking about following up on everything we just talked about. So thank you so much. Have a great time. We'll see you soon.
And feeling you.